This video is sponsored by Luminar Neo. Hey guys, Irene here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you what's new in Luminar Neo and how I added my portraits using the new features like Bokeh AI, Relight AI, and their new ways of masking and layering, which is pretty awesome. I'm also releasing my new LUT pack called Lush Greens, which is why I'm wearing the green, that you can use in Luminar AI and Luminar Neo. But I will talk about that a little bit later in the video, so make sure you stay tuned, or you can always find the timestamp for whatever part of the video you're interested in the description. And really quickly, if you're not familiar with Luminar products, it's an editing software similar to Lightroom, but it's powered by artificial intelligence, AI, to make your editing a lot faster and easier. And finally, Skylum, the company that makes Luminar products, is Ukrainian. So by buying their products, you're supporting Ukrainian economy, plus they have donated a lot of money to various organizations that help Ukraine right now. Alright, that was a long intro, and now let's get into the video. So we're in Luminar Neo, and the first thing I'm going to show you is their new Relight AI feature. It's here in the Creative tab. So you guys know that I love to shoot backlit most of the time, and then the problem that you get is your subject is going to be a little bit darker than the background. And so usually what I do is I mask out the subject, and then I usually go with levels and I brighten up with like masking and layers. So that takes a bit of time, but let me show you how fast and quick it is with this Relight AI feature. All I'm gonna do is take the brightness near a little bit higher, and look at this. Isn't that insane? It's just pretty crazy, and it looks so good. Like, that's it. I don't need to change anything. It just works perfectly. And so if you just move it to the left, it's just going to darken the area, like the nearest areas. And then you can do the same for the background. You can brighten up the background, or you can darken it up just by sliding this little slider. And then if you want even more control, you can also play around with the depth here. I'm going to show you a little bit better what it does. You can see where it brightens up the area. Let me show you another example. Let's do it on this image right here. Here, as you can see, it's actually brightening up the grass in the front as well, because it is in the foreground. It's pretty much just separating the image into the foreground and the background. And let's say that you do not want to have this grass brighten up. Well, here comes the second feature that's new to Luminar Neo that I absolutely love, and it's the way that they're masking now. You're going to notice that almost every tab has this masking feature right here, and if you press on it, you'll see there's a brush, linear gradient, radial gradient, and mask AI. Let me show you what the mask AI does. So you're just going to click that, and the AI is just going to analyze the image and find all the different elements in here. So here it recognizes that we have a human, sky, flora, architecture, and natural ground. So let's say that we want to brighten up only the human. So this is what I'm going to press right here. And then you can see there it is, masked off like perfectly. And then we're going to go to the adjustments, and we're going to do that brightness again. You're going to see that it's only affecting just the person now. That's pretty awesome. Another thing that I love about this masking feature is that you can actually create multiple layers. So let's say you want to mask off another area of the image, you can do it now because they added this edits tab. And it shows you all of the edits that you've done. But when you go back to tools, and let's say you open the Relight tab again, everything is back to normal, and you can just start using it again and again and again. Let me just show you real quick. Let's say you want to darken up the background. So I'm gonna do this right here. But let's say that you want to mask off just something very specific. Let's take a brush, and let's make this brush a little bit bigger. Let's say that you want to darken up specifically only this one spot right here, okay? So I can paint it, and now we're going to go to adjustments, and it's going to be darkening up just that spot that I painted. And again, if we're going to go into edits, there it is right here. This is our previous one that we did, and this is the newest one that we just did. I absolutely love it, and this just kind of means that we can keep layering and layering more adjustments on top of another one, which we didn't have in Luminar AI. And I really love it. And then let's say that I did that. I don't really want that splotch in there, so I can just reset this tool and go back to my editing. Next thing I want to show you guys is the portrait Bokeh AI in the portrait section right here. So this is also a new thing that we have in Luminar Neo, and most of my portraits have a lot of bokeh. This one actually has some bokeh as well, but I shot this image at 2.8 and I was standing quite far, so the bokeh doesn't look super impressive. But let me show you what this can do. So let's open up the portrait bokeh tab and let's just bring the amount to like 50%. All right, so this is what that did. That looks pretty good, but if we zoom in, you can see that it's cutting off like her hair just a little bit. First thing we can try is do this edges correction, but I don't think it's actually doing it better. Let's see. No, it's still not doing it great. So what we're gonna do is actually use this brush control. We're gonna go into focus, and with the brush size maybe just a little bit smaller, I'm going to brush around her hair just a little bit more so that those pieces are in focus. And I like to keep my brush soft so we have a nice transition. And I'm gonna do it actually around her as well because I saw that it was like cutting her off just a little bit. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do, and now let's look at that before and after. That looks a lot better. I love that they've improved the brush control and the masking because it makes these AI features a lot more usable. We can go in straight away and then fix just the little things. AI is not perfect. But I actually think that the amount of bokeh is a little bit too much. I think I'm gonna keep it just at that. But look at that. How cool is that? It's just so easy to do. Oh, another thing you can do here is you can make your bokeh warmer or cooler, which is nice, especially if you want to add that like sunset look. I think I'm actually going to keep it a little bit warmer. Alright, so let's now edit this picture from start to finish. I always like to go to the Enhance AI, and I do just a little bit of that Accent AI almost on every images. It's just a really good feature. It just gives that little punch to the image, if you know what I mean. The next one, I'm going to go into the develop, and I want to make this image actually really warm. I want to make it look like we actually have a sunset there. Let's make it a little bit warmer. Maybe not as warm, just a little bit. And then I'm going to give it just a little bit more vibrance. And we're gonna go, and usually what I do is I bring the smart contrast up just a little bit, and then I'm gonna bring the highlights just a little bit down and shadows just a little bit up. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I also love that on each of the tabs you have the eyeball so you can see what you've just done. Okay, so this is what we just done. That looks pretty good. And okay, so I think that's good for right now. Sharpness, yeah, sure, why not sharpen this image up just a little bit. Next, we're gonna play around with color, and actually what I want to do is make her hair a lot more red, and we're gonna do it with masking tool. I'm gonna select the brush and I'm gonna paint her hair, and this is gonna make my selection. I'm not super precise here because I can always erase it off of the spots where I don't want it to be. So I'm just kind of quickly selecting her hair. Alright, that looks good. Now let's go into adjustments, and we're gonna make that red more colorful. So I'm just gonna bring the saturation up, and I'm also gonna make the red just more red here. And as you can see, this is the before and after on the hair. I think that looks pretty damn good. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, because I want to do more adjustments but not just for the hair and the color, I'm gonna like close the tab and then open it again. and I can now do more color corrections. And then we can go into the edits and we'll see that that's the color that we did for the hair with the masking. It's right here. All right, so yes, let's go back into our color and let's play around with a few things. Let's make the yellow more saturated, orange more saturated, green more saturated. And then, yes, I think I'll leave it for right now. If I need anything else, we'll do that next. Okay, so usually at this stage, I'm going to go into my mood and you can choose the LUTs here. And the cool thing is that you can mask the LUTs again if you want to. Luminar AI already comes with a lot of free LUTs right here. We have the cinematic toning, creative, cross-processing. There's quite a lot of them and they're actually pretty good. But I think I'm going to use some of my LUTs here. And again, just stay tuned till the end where I'm going to be talking about them more. But let me see if any of them look good on this image. That looks pretty cool. Ooh, I think I like Morgana. And it's fitting because we have Morgana as a model in this picture. So this is without the LUT and this is with the LUT. It kind of makes everything more green and yellow. I really like it. It just kind of brings everything together, makes it a little bit more monochromatic. I'm just going to increase the saturation on it just a little bit more as well. Okay, that looks really good. So the next thing I'm going to do is go into the portrait mode right here. And we're going to go to Face AI. Let's just zoom in a little bit here. So what we're going to do is going to increase the iris flare and the eye enhancer. And like, look what it does. Do you see it, her eyes? It just gives it a little pop and it's just so easy. Another thing that I love to do is make the lips a little bit darker. And let's make them a little bit more red as well. So here's that. Beautiful. Now I'm going to go into the skin AI, and I mean her skin is pretty perfect and it's shot from pretty far away, so you can't see much of imperfections, but let's just add a little bit of the skin AI. Yeah, it barely did anything here. I'll show it to you on some other portraits and show you how the skin AI works. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually match her skin. If you notice, her leg is really pale and then her arm got a little bit more sun. I want to match the arm to the leg. So I'm going to go into Develop tab and I'm going to go into Masking and I'm going to select the brush. And let's make this just a little bit bigger. And I'm going to mask out this whole area in her arm. Make sure that it is on Paint. And now I'm going to go erase, and I'm going to erase it just off of the white strap. All right, that looks good. Now I'm going to go to adjustments and I'm going to bring the shadows up, highlights up, exposure up just a little bit. And I'm also going to bring the temperature down here. Okay, almost there. I think we can bring the exposure up just a little bit more. And we should make it more pale. All right, that's good. Let's look at the before and after. Look at that. The before and after. I think that looks pretty damn good. So another one that I like is in landscape. You can go into the golden hour and dehaze. Dehaze, I love to use it in Camera Raw and it does kind of a similar thing here, but let's try the golden hour. So here, I'll show you in full force. And then I think I'm gonna add just like a little bit of golden hour here. Let's see the before and after on that. Yeah, that's nice. And then another cool thing here with the foliage, so you can enhance the green. Obviously you don't want to go too far, but the cool thing is that you can change the hue of it. Look at that. So you can make it yellow or you can make it more bluish. Just pretty cool. I think I want to make it a little bit more yellow, like this. Yeah, I think that's pretty nice. I like the way that looks. So I think that's it for this image. So this is the before and after. It's pretty cool what you can do just in Luminar AI. Alright, so really quickly, I do want to show you what the skin AI does. So my model again has pretty perfect skin, but it is a little bit textured. And let me show you how good the skin AI is. So I'm going to bring the amount quite high, and look at that. This is the before and after. Let's bring even higher. Before and after. And then again, if it went a little bit too far, like here it's going over the eyes, we can go into masking, brush, and we can erase it just off of her eyes. And maybe off of her lips as well. And now it's only affecting the other areas and it's not affecting the eye. I think it's pretty damn cool. Now let's finally talk about my LUT pack that I created for Luminar Neo, and it's called Lush Greens. Green is one of my absolutely favorite colors. You can always find some lush greenery in the background of my portraits. I love to play off the greens, and it's kind of become my signature look. So I created this LUT pack based on some of the favorite color combinations that I love to use. And if you do shoot a lot in the nature and you love to incorporate those greens, this is the pack for you. I also just want to emphasize that these are not presets. LUTs are quite different and they are sort of color profiles. I like to use them as my starting point in my color grading rather than the one-stop, one-click kind of preset that changes a lot of things in the image, so please keep that in mind. But the cool thing is that you can actually use these LUTs as color profiles in Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom and Adobe Premiere. Let me show you how to use my LUTs now. I would recommend to do just your basic adjustments before you apply any of the LUTs, making sure that the exposure and the white balance is correct. So here the exposure looks good, but I'm going to bring the shadows up just a little bit, highlights down just a little bit, maybe apply a little bit of smart contrast, and the temperature actually looks pretty good. After you've done your basic adjustments, you can go into the mood, and here are my custom LUTs. So you get 15 LUTs in total, and they all do some unique things to the greens of your image. But let's start with Angel. Angel is actually a very neutral kind of preset, and it's very bright and airy. It actually doesn't work great on this image. Let me show you on another one. Here is Angel on a different picture, and I think it works so much better here. But I find this one to be great for weddings, for maternity, for family images, if you want to add that very light and airy touch to your images. Alright, so next we have Alex. And Alex is a part of the set that leans more towards the bluish greenish side. So here is before and after. Serial is another one. Here is Diana. A little bit more blue in this one. Emily. Emily and Diana are very similar, but also different at the same time. Grace. By the way, I'm showing you these in a quite strong amount. You can definitely adjust the amount here. You can do just a little bit, a lot, or again, you can do some masking. Let me show you very quickly. I'm going to apply the Mask AI. And let's just say that I want to apply this LUT only to the background, excluding the model. I'm going to press on Human. And then I'm going to go, instead of Fill, whatever, I'm going to do Invert. So it's going to actually select everything except for the human. So you see, it's adjusting the background except for the model. So you can totally do that with my LUTs. Another cool thing you can do is actually apply LUTs multiple times, or apply 2 or even 3 LUTs. I mean, how many LUTs you want per image. So as you can see, this one already had the LUT. This one had the Grace LUT applied to it. And let's say I want to apply more, then I go to Moods again. And I can just apply whatever LUT I want. So let's say I wanted to apply this one. Okay, and I want more. So I open the mood again and I can apply another one. I can close it and I can apply one more on top. So you can just kind of endlessly go and apply more LUTs, which is pretty cool as well. Next, we have Katie. It's pretty bright and colorful. And finally, we have Nina. I really love Nina. It's a really good LUT. It's very moody. Next, two LUTs just kind of enhance the green a little bit more. So here's Morgana, and you can see this is the before and after. It just makes the green a lot more green and vibrant. Really love this one. And another one in here is Cheyenne. So it's kind of more of a muted green and kind of gives it a little bit of a yellowish tinge to it. And then finally, we have a set of LUTs that play off more of the yellowish colors and more warm tones. So in this one, we have Sophia. It's a very intense LUT, but I do love it. And Sophie, which is very similar to Sophia, just a little bit more muted. We have Brooke, which is a very yellow warm. And finally, we have Peyton, which is a more muted warm, but still really nice. Okay, let me quickly show you all of them again on a different image. We have Alex, Angel, Brooke, Cyrielle, Diana, Emily, Grace, Katie, Maria, Morgana, Nina, Peyton, Cheyenne, Sophia. Look how good Sophia looks in this one. I think that's the one that I would have chosen if I was editing this image. Maybe a little bit more saturation. And Sophie. Oh, no, Sophie. Sophie looks even better. Look at that. That looks great. So this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in Luminar Neo, check out the link in the description. They do have a free trial, which is super awesome, so you can try it out before you decide to buy it. And I will also link my LUT pack, Lush Greens, and my template pack for creative indoor portraits. Both of those are available for both Luminar Neo and Luminar AI. And I think this is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!